And today's my lecture title is Architecture Ethnography. It is the same title of Venice Biennale 2018 Japan Pavilion, where what we curated. And what is architecture ethnography? As Matthew mentioned, we did several research projects about Tokyo, because Tokyo was not so popular before the book, I think. Very interesting, but nobody wants to talk upper generation. So because they compare from the European city, the Tokyo is very chaotic, it's not so interesting. So, but for my understanding as a childhood, Tokyo is very, very exciting and also interesting. Why not we can start to explain what is a Tokyo is. And after this research, we were also invited to another city to find some specific point from the local, some characters. Like Broken Paris case, we visit the 13th arrondissement of Paris, or Dead or Alive, we visit to the Mito area, Castle Town in Ibaraki Prefecture. So somehow a rural castle town in Japan. And also we are very interested about the making a drawing, because I like make a drawing, so that is a starting point. But also I always very fascinating to how to draw, how to explain through the drawings. That is very, very a lot of intention, a lot of imagination brings to me too. So that's why the drawing is also the very important method or resources of my designs. And then this graphic anatomy, we try to explain how drawing could be explain our environment of the design architecture. And also this drawing continue not only our drawing, our project, this is going to some public space. And then these books are communalities showing the different the drawing of how people behave or how architecture behave around common spaces. And also parallelly, I started to teach in rural, somehow Tsukuba is a rural science city. It has a lot of nature, so that's why my interest is going to be also the more rural or natural part. And then I have also some good experience or invitation to from the local rural city or village. And then my colleague of the University of Tsukuba, Professor Ando, also introduced me to the very beautiful village in Gifu Prefecture. And also the drawing methodology is going to expand to from the computer things to the more hand drawing after the 2011. So because we had a very big earthquake, and then that time, we had also very shocked to how we can explain in architecture fields. But that time, maybe we are a little bit hesitate to start to use a computer, because the computer is too much automatically to draw. So in a sense, that's why we try to avoid this kind of computer drawing, and then we start to draw by hand. And this hand drawing also could be shared a little bit similar aspect of the computer use, because the computer also we explain to some simple line without any strong personality. So it could be also a very good platform for design share. But in this case, we also expect the public drawing by hand would be also some very interesting kind of conference or conflict between for example, students who participate in these drawings. And but of course, in architecture scenes, the drawing happened everywhere, and also always the drawing showing the social form in a presentation. And also the ethnography in Japanese case, for example, Wajiro Kon, the 90 years 90 years ago, he drew a lot of beautiful graphics about the Japanese folk house or Japanese people life and so on. And then also the 1970s, also the some professor who are interested in the very rural fisherman village in Kyoto. And then so they tried all the drawings to something to present on what they had or what the local had. And then what I found some similarity compared from their works. Of course, but maybe the ethnographical aspect or ethnographical things is always focused on the life, but also in architecture. And then also maybe that time so Japanese architecture are totally changed time by time by the pressure of the economical growth or pressure of the modernity, so on. So that's why it's not so easy to explain how to change. So, but by drawings, maybe so we can report what we had before or what we have to after, for example. And then the ethnography of the drawing would be helped to understand by this kind of drawing method. So that's coming to this terms of the architecture ethnography. And today I will present two projects by Bow Wow as an example how related to this words and the project. 1K is a very interesting, very exciting project for us. It's located in a very rural, so Chiba prefecture, near the Narita airport. So if you are interested, please visit from Narita airport. And then the area is very, very beautiful. They have a lot of hill and valley. And the valley part, rice field, and hill part are occupied by the forest. And this area is also agriculture area. And in the rural condition, so they didn't have any welfare service for the elderly people or for disabled people. And then 15 years before, they started to some interest to found a new welfare service organization, which was supported by the local community or local committee. And then this Mr. Ida is one of the leader of this organization. And then he started to start with the young and old different generation group to make 3 elderly homes. And they asked us to one building. It's called the Loving Pork Laboratory. And the Loving Pork Laboratory, it means they produce the ham sausage with shabu-shabu cuisine, shabu-shabu meat. You know shabu-shabu, what it is? No. There is a slice, 1 millimeter sliced pork meat or beef meat, put in the soup, hot soup, and then very tasty. and then so they had already nice meat, pork meat, but why not they can utilize the new workspace for elderly or for disabled people or for normal people together to create some creative workspace for with this the pork meat factory idea. And then and also they wanted to change some images of the welfare service buildings. So normally it's very shabby or very so spare and not so fun. So but they wanted to have a nice place for them. So that's why we designed. And in fact, the budget was very limited and very difficult because of the mostly building was subsidized by the government. So that's why in fact, it's not so, we cannot do them not so special things, but we try to as much as possible. And then so this building in the ground floor has the pork meat processing factory, and upper floor is a restaurant. This is a factory for sausage and ham and so on. And upper floor is a restaurant, so they have a very big window and benches, and you can eat the shabu-shabu. And also the many staff, also who had some problem with the mental or from the knowledge, so for example. And then, for example, this is a photograph of really so first period of this building, so started. And then that time, so his role is open the door and say hello to the guest. And it's very, very so nice atmosphere. So because we are celebrated by someone who to come to this place. And then, but now he started to work more different jobs. So, for example, now he could serve a meal, or also he could work with others and so on. So that means in Japanese case, sometimes this kind of workshop for the disabled people sometimes were very so discreet from the society. But if we can open to this kind of workspace to the normal way, so that if they got some chance, so they could have a more opportunity or more communicative with the others. And also this building are very, very so cleaned by also the people. Cleaning also one of the very important job by them. And you see also from this building, so a lot of the forest behind. And then 1 or 2 years later, so Mr. Ida is started to think about forest, because they saw always forest behind. And the forests were not so healthy, like this photograph, very dark and very dense. So that's why they started thinning. They started thinning the forest to maintain, to make a more light inside the forest. And then these thinning materials are going to be the fire log to create some new business market for them too. And then they decided to, okay, maybe we could extend their business. They could decide that extend their business to this field, to the making timber some factory. And then this is the actor network diagram for this project. This is a Loving Pork laboratory original building, and behind there is a lot of forest. And then we designed a new factory or a workspace for a timber, but this building also related to the meal factory or local farmers workshop, or also the forest, the building. And also it's connected by the suburban people who live around this rural area, but also it's connected by the city area, because nowadays the Japanese company have some needs to hire the disabled people by some certain percentage by the law. But unfortunately, some of the big company could not have this kind of percentage enough, because of the lack of the workspace. And then they can maybe have some collaborate how to the workspace for everybody. And then another interest is how to open this timber work to everybody. So for example, Yoshiharu, my partner, chopped the wood by ox. This is a little bit skillful, but this is more easy to just one push dumper and to slice the timber. So these kind of tools also could be enlarge the capacity of the sharing to share the work. And then this is a drawing, so how we can divide from the thinning tree from the forest to make a firewood. And some of the this square part could be here for everybody. Another part is a little bit skilled by machine and so on. So this square part could be made by some manual for everybody. But we, Yoshiharu's students supported to make this manual for their studies. And then, but this kind of manual is also the kind of open method there for others. And also the building would be also the opening to some different skill and the resources in a local area. For example, we propose log columns, local wood, and also some gambrels or arch. The roof could be also used from the local roofers. And then we started to visit the beer factory and the forest ranger. Asked to him, because he had a lot of knowledge, and asked to him in the forest, then some wood could be utilized for these columns building. Then this is the result, what we cut, and after that, this round column is also very, very so difficult to make a joint. So that's why the one carpenter brought very old tools, make the specific joinery by traditional ways. He didn't use the last 20 years and tools, but I think this kind of job, at first he said, it's too difficult or something like that. But when he started, he was very, very so happy to make a very perfect. And we celebrate also the building up the whole structure. Then in that case, we throw the rice cake from the roof to guests, and many people catch and to have us share to the fun or good luck. And you see, so this is the columns of the log columns from cutting the tree forest. And this is a building. It's very so simple. So main part is a workshop, and the sub part is some office and meetings. Another part is daycare center for the elderly people. So it's connected. Daycare center, and also here they can share the work. And also some urban company had an office here, and so they work also here. And if it's the whole sliding door open, it's like a very big gate to the forest. And this three building, and also we put one small kiosk for sweet potatoes cake. And this is the space, very so simple. All wood coming from the local wood, and they make also some fire, small wood, and also in the future they will make also furniture from the timber. And each roof has a small gap between, and has a small window. You can get the view, the sky, and also the forest. And this sweet potato also very, very so important role. So now this is abundant neighbors some vegetable fields, but now they started to establish new agriculture organization too, so that they make a potato, and also they make also this kind of nice sweet cake. And this is the next project. It's called Oshika village, and then Momonora village project. 2011, as you know, we had a very big earthquake, and then so east northern part of Japanese island attacked by tsunami. And one of the city is called Ishinomaki city. They had a 260,000 around the population, and mostly so is a city, but also the another side they have a long coast of the fisherman's village, and each village has a very so different size of the fisherman village. For example, smallest one may be just 10 households. The biggest one is maybe 500 or something like so. There's very different size, and then each has a different fisherman character according to the geographical condition, and the geographical condition makes them to the different fishery too. So deeper sea makes another atmosphere, and this side is more pocky, and this side is more oyster, for example. So the difference of the sea forms were related to the different fisheries. And then 15 to 20, so different architects and professor architects went together with the students to have an interview with the local people to get the future images from the meeting. Then each group started to make some report to the city, Ishinomaki. And then this is one of the methods to future fisherman's village images. Because lower parts are totally damaged by tsunami. And how they can create or recover lower part and the new upper part residential area. And then, in fact, there's a lot of different subsidizing systems coming into their small villages. And many different administrative or officer or staff and coming to them to ask requirements. But in fact, it's really so difficult to understand what is the total images and what is the total future for them. So this drawing is very, I would say, very rough, in fact. Not precisely proved. But this kind of rough drawing would be also help to them to grasp what's going on their villages. And then in this first meeting, so we draw this kind of things. And one old fisherman said, now we had a very big problem about the lack of the new generation of the fishermen. So, and also they lose a lot of population by the disaster because many habitants were removed from the area because of the age. So they worried about the health, that they need a hospital and so on. So that's why, so after the disaster, the population was totally changed from before and after. And then we started to discuss with the local people how to invite the new generation or new fishermen to this village. And then we proposed, or we discussed, maybe we could start with the fisherman's school in the village as an event. And then this is a kind of meeting photograph. He is a leader, that time maybe 84 years old. And they are mostly so 60. That means very so population were very aged. And then our students. And then finally, so we reach, maybe so we could have a 2 or 3 days programs. One day for the fisherman can teach to them how to make a rope for oyster farm. Or another day, they can test the catching fish by net of the traditional method. Or one day, so local leader, he explained how the village was poor, or before the tsunami, or maybe 50 years ago, or 60 years ago, or some fisherman. He ran also some hostel in a village, and then he could cook, or he could show the slicing of the fish to 3 layers. And also we try to make the textbook, because of there is no textbook in among the fishermen's skills. So that's why we try to draw some drawing about the simplified process, and also make a text. And also after 3 fisherman school focusing on the fishermen, so we slowly understand maybe in the fisherman village we could also invite the different type of the people, not only fisherman's skills, or maybe some different knowledge and so on. So that would be also very helpful to finding some nice harmony of the village. So that's why we did some more project management fisherman school, and also food recipe Pinchos creations, so fisherman school, so on. And then also through this kind of event, we also found some new problem. So because of the newcomer, if they want to live there, but unfortunately mostly house was gone by tsunami. So that's why they couldn't live anymore, because upper part of the new residence area was only open to the local people who lost the house. So that's why if the new people coming to want to stay here, they couldn't have any house. So that is some very contradictional problems. And then we found maybe some of the foot of the mountain could be also some living area in the future. So that we test, and also some fisherman school also to try to propose to which area mountain food could be utilized as some new function. And then one of the idea is proposed by making some accommodation or camping site for the area to receive the exchanging population from the urban area, or maybe testing living area for newcomers. And then we started to think about maybe we think the mountain too. So it's a very contradiction condition, but we think ocean, but we think mountains, both sides, because mountain gives a lot of nice mineral or nice water to the ocean, and then this area was very famous about the oyster, and then oyster going to more rich and rich to grasping this kind of mineral water from the mountain. So that's why fishermen should think about it too, from the very traditional old days. And then we asked to collaborating with some forest industry, who had the skill of the singing, and also we asked some people who had the knowledge of the making furniture, and also we asked to some collaboration with the local milling factory. And after that, we proposed to some stepping field, vegetable field, were originally used as a vegetable garden for local people. And then last 50 years, they are planted of the many cedar trees for serving the future to the timber resources. And then we decided, okay, maybe some of this vegetable field would be open for this kind of the new accommodation and the new camping site. And we proposed to the one building from the understanding the local traditional houses of the fishermen. These are the three different rooms, 8 tatami rooms connecting to each other. And we bring this typology to make a main house of building. And also we asked to 4 cottages to a younger architect, around 30 years old, to propose us to the making the self-building DIY cottages with a very limited budget. And then 4 architects are very participating in the project. These 2 houses were realized. And at first, this is a forest before, and we start to cut the tree and open the forest to make some space for the accommodation. And cutting tree were also using for, also some very bad one was used for the footpath of the slicing the tip of the timber. And also it was done by the volunteer groups, so for the kind of fun of the Momonara village after the fisherman's school. And also we sometimes cook the meal together. And at lunchtime we have a nice fresh fish and rice and miso soup and so on. This was also a very, very nice moment for enjoy to share the nature. And the forest timber was sliced to this kind of element for column and sub-column for the cottages. And then we ran last summer to the summer school to invite several young or middle-aged people to help us. Very nice. And then we make this building by us, and to invite it also the local carpenter to help us. And then so this is 1 week later, so we make almost structure, and another week some of them they finishing the building. And then this is the main building, and 2 cottages faced to both 3 were facing to the ocean. And 1 cottage is designed by Dots Architects and built by them. The 1 cottage are Satokura Architects. Also one of the architects, he worked for from the students' time, so to this project too. And this project was supported by AP Bank. AP Bank is organized by very famous music director, pop music director, Takeshi Kobayashi. And then we were discussing several times and about this project, and we share the idea, and then so finally he supported to this project. And then opening time, so he also played the piano for everybody, and also this is the first kind of ceremony of the conference. It's very interesting. So this is me, and this is now the 89 years old today. So the fisherman, a very strong local leader. And here it's coming 2 years ago as from the Tokyo to start to follow to be fisherman, and then he is a music director. I think it's very interesting combination. In fact, very different world, but it's happened so after the 2011, and this accommodation were also the very open. You can come and stay here. Maybe Australian people, many. I hope you like it. And also, we have to run the several different programs of the more local lifestyle or life culture program, focusing on the fisherman old boat with a timber boat. And in this case, we found 27 different old boats in the local gymnasiums. And then so we want to open these resources to the public as the kind of exhibition space. And also we run also another program of the stone wall of a vegetable field. And in this case, we asked one professor who studied or who ran also the stone masonry school in Japan, and we make or restore stone wall. And also last summer, we also do again the very old summer festival. Last 50 years was not happened, but we were asking the older guys to make some special straw bale boat for the children, and then we do again a little bit different styles. And also another September, so we have some also the seminar or fisherman school for architects to understand what's happened in the area. Okay. And last part, this kind of ethnographical idea, how related to this Venice Biennale project. This project, I curate, but I couldn't present my project. This is a little bit rule, a contradictional rule in Japan pavilion. So that's why. So I'm thinking my interest, but also after the meeting in Tokyo, I received so many interesting research from all over the world, and also I started to have a very good contact from the different architects or young students who did some research or who are interested in our research. So that's why. So before the proposal, we had already some 30 or 40 different proposals from different area. And then from this content, I'm thinking also maybe if we could looking for some other or many other possibility to collect at first what's happened last 20 years, this kind of architectural ethnographical drawings to affect our to illustrate our context. And then we collect at first around 200 to asking my friends or colleagues or so on. And then finally, so we select the 42. And this is a catalog to split in one project. For example, first page, first spread is showing the round. It's a little bit the detail of the drawings, and to magnify some detail of the drawing itself, how it explains or how related to others. And then second pamphlet more showing the all images, what we select. And then also in the show, so we try to 4 categories with in between, so drawing and architecture. So preposition, all 4 among around. And for example, draw first part and drawing of architecture is collecting more kind of typology, is focusing on the, for example, this is a Hong Kong, Rome. Each city has a very different the form of the architecture. For example, Hong Kong has like a pencil building, but Roman architecture more fat, stay in blocks. So that means it's a little bit like, it doesn't show the environment, but we could understand the form of the architecture. We could understand the condition of the city through the form of architecture, like insect box we call. And this project also what I showed before this. In this case, she tried to draw the kind of the house was demolished after. And then because of the family owned almost 100 years for this house, but unfortunately, so they couldn't keep it. So that's why the owner asked her to draw about the memories. And then in the drawing, so try to draw several memory fragments, which she heard from the family members. And drawing for architecture, it is also I invite some Australian things. The Queenslander homes is also the very interesting some drawing to how they made in a historical before the machine condition. So the pillar of the standing foundation is also the kind of the symbol of the collaboration work and so on. And also another drawing is constructed up by the French group. So the architecture are very related to the collaboration with the normal or architecture or design creative people. And in this drawing, many collaborators draw as animals who had a different skill. So monkey or motor or some different part. And another one, the drawing among the architecture, is we also showed we found several some camp who escape or who evacuate from the area as a refugee. So this drawing is showing some from halls, drawing map the city. But also when we zoom in, so there is several detail of the interior. And also this case, this African city, it's this drawing made by the different waste from like Coca-Cola or some medicine leftover, so garbage to be painted very beautiful color. And also the people are made by coconut skin, and it has also very interesting form, and also they had a blackout to provoke as a city for the city. And the last one is drawing around the architecture. It's a more we found also the drawing. This kind of drawing are related to the condition of the geographical section. And then this drawing is done by the Atelier Yamaguchi, very beautiful. So the artist work. And then always he tried to explain to some traditional Japanese wood carving ukiyo-e style, but by brush. But also he created several interesting elements in real also. That means there are always drawings showing some creativity or imaginary part in it. And also the last part was showing the networking world of the around buildings. These drawings are related to the kind of story, how they make, what is the process of the building. And then all drawing is showing in the Japan pavilion. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. Sorry. And then Japan pavilion is very old, 1954 by Yoshizaka Takamasa. And then I proposed, this is the first one. It's made but finally, so I decided to make a more open, so square for some discussion. And the space was very, very so. In fact, it's really curated to very so some each what drawing could be very close and distant and so on. So every detail was so designed. And also that we avoid as much possible of the explanation because of the many biennales or exhibition had a lot of text. So it was always sometimes very exhausting to the audience. So that I tried to be more so free to look. This is a room, so very empty, nothing in center, and all drawing on the wall. And people can enjoy just normal way, but also magnified with some lenses. They can 3 times larger than original. And also that there is some so ladder for climb up to the look more closely. And this is the magnified so middle, but the surroundings it's explained to the some caption for each drawings. And then they can discuss with these things, and also they can enjoy different play for the face. And also the drawing could be inspired by this rolling wheel, kind of real square chair. They can sit on this chair and slide. And also this telescope. And sometimes this mobile phone. And also some drawing could touched by hand. In the middle there is a window. People can see, look down. And downstairs there is some mobile furniture. It was made by the Calero, the porter's tools of Venice. And I designed several furniture with the local Calero makers. And this is the final things. Drawing board and the library and the video. And we brought this Calero to the park and the testing to how going on. So we had a party there, and it's also the kind of testing of the furniture. And we add external one more stairs to connect to the whole route, not dead end. And also we put some Japanese plants with Christophe Chigo, our colleague in Etelier. And he proposed 4 season beautiful flower and vegetables. And then I put the plant box on. And also the ground floor is an open area for everybody. And we could provide a drawing board with free paper. And the children can enjoy, and my friends architects also can enjoy the drawings. And ground floor, so we have also some event. And last August, we had a workshop with Queensland University and Ethiopia, Zurich, and University Tsukuba. So we are 34 students together to make a Veduta drawing about Venice. this is a final photo. And for example, we select 12 vedute like this. Originally, San Marco drawn the many ceremony of this kind of church. And this is a member. And also the Rialto, also the use is very different. This is the old bridge of the timber. We can find as a difference from the historical moment, but also that today it's a lot of different new usage by the new boat and so on. And sometimes the ground floor are occupied by drawing students. It's very, very so nice and very calm and atmosphere. And then this is a result last day, so we present the hanging on the wall with all drawing, all on and they are without, something like this. And this is the last slide. What we are doing, the architecture ethnography. So the idea was today, 20th century, today is the 21st century, but the 20th century, so our culture or our society were very, very industrialized. Also the economical growth and globalization, a lot of happens. And then this effect, of course, it makes our lifestyle very rich, and a lot of variation and a lot of option. But unfortunately, some of the things, it makes a war between the existing resources, so just next to us, like a forest. So that's why, really, so before this industrialization or globalization, so that we are more close, just we catch the neighbor's forest and we get the neighbor the ocean to fish and so on. But we are now here. But my question is, we cannot just go here, but how we can kind of transform or kind of intermediate in between, so as a hybrid situation to understand what we were and how we are, so on. So our project or our method, the ethnographical aspect, will be helping to this kind of bridge, and also that the understanding part, also this drawing matter will be very, very useful in my. So thank you very much.